Hello. It's been a good month, hasn't it? And I expect you've all been much the same, absolutely wondering what's going on. The last 2 weeks in particular have absolutely floored me, and I'm pretty good with most stuff. But the last night I think it was we had a special thing, and I think you will find that today and following days you'll feel quite different. You'll feel something. It's a strangeness about everything, isn't there? Nothing's familiar anymore. It's a real strangeness. I have had two quite big breakthroughs I want to share with you. I hope I can put them on one video because they really are quite profound. It's taken me a lot of understanding. But the first one was, well, actually, it was yesterday, day before yesterday. I was taken to a dentist by a driver. I have to employ a driver nowadays. And I asked him to drop me off at the bank on the way home, thinking I could get some jobs done. He didn't drop me off at the bank, he dropped me off near the bank. And he left me there on the pavement with my little sticks. And I thought I was going to die. I couldn't walk. I kept falling into people. People were very kind and kept coming over to me. You all right? And my balance is completely gone. I mean, I think I've become so bad now that I'm feeling suicidal. I can't go on like this. So anyway, I'm still here. So I've worked it all out. It started really about a month ago when because I haven't done videos for a month, have I? And it was really, you know how you get those days when everything goes wrong. I mean, the internet went down. No one knows what it was. I had to send for a new router, and that took a good 10 days to get to me. So I hadn't got the internet, so I do online shopping. I was running out of food. I thought I can't get shopping. Online shopping, Amazon, Marks, all the stuff. It's my life. My computer is my life. It's very sad, but it is. It's the only thing I've got in my life that I can communicate with the world with. And I do live, I buy stuff. So when that goes, my life goes. And I sat there one night in my room and I thought, I can't describe the feeling. You may have felt it, you may not. It seemed like the 23rd Psalm, through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. I mean, it wasn't actually evil, it was just this emptiness. I sat there and thought, there is nothing I can do. I've tried everything. I had no one to ask. This friend of mine didn't want to come out for some reason, so I couldn't talk to him. I had nobody in my life I could turn to. I sat there on my settee, I just cried. What can I do? The internet's gone. I haven't got anyone I can phone, anyone I can talk to. I've got no family, no friend. It was one of those moments I just was completely and utterly empty. And what can you do? What can you do? I mean, I can't even go for a walk because I can't walk anymore. Well, very little. So I, it was just one of those things. I just couldn't do anything about it. So in the end, I thought I'll have to get somebody else. My friend's not interested. Somebody else to come and check the computer, and they're always Indian, aren't they? No disrespect. It's just that I can't understand the language. They're very speedy, but it was. I rang Talk first of all, who were the servers. I was 4 or 5 hours on the phone with different ones. Two of them put the phone down on me because I kept saying, "Sorry, what did you say?" And I didn't get anywhere. No, nobody had an answer. We tried everything to say the router's working perfectly, and we couldn't. Anyway, on it went. So in the end, I gave up. This is when I had the give up time. I thought I'll have to find somebody else. There's a little magazine that comes to the door, and I rang this chap, and he was Indian. He turned up. The minute he came, I thought he doesn't know what he's doing. I know more than he does, and no disrespect, but they advertise, and he didn't know. He sat there and he said, I talk to these people all the time. He doesn't. He was making stuff up as he went along. I thought, he hasn't got a clue. £20 for a visit. And so in the end, he left in a bit of a huff. Not, couldn't fix it. So I was back to square one to this lonely place of what can I do? What can I do? And I had to think, okay, there comes a point you just got to give up. You do all you can, and you have to hand it over. And I said, okay, God, you solved it. So that was that. And the following day, was it the following day? That's right, it was the following day. I had this inspiration, which is often God talking, isn't it? There's another little booklet that comes through the door, adverts and stuff, and there was a firm quite nearby that dealt with televisions and stuff. I thought, I wonder if they would look at my computer. Anyway, and then television was playing up because everything had gone pear-shaped. And it was really peculiar because I rang them. She just, will send an engineer round tomorrow. Well, this, I think it was a Wednesday, and I sat there. I thought, well, okay, and it's another day, you know. And the doorbell went, and there was this man at the door. Well, I can only say he was like an angel, not to look at, but the presence. He just turned up. He said, "Oh, I've come today instead." Just turned up. This smile he had, I really thought he was Jesus. I know I don't mean that disrespectfully, but he was just like I would imagine him to be when he was a younger man. The smile, this absolute smile. And he came in and he sat on the floor actually, ready to do the television stuff, you know, check the switches and all the cables. And I'd already done all this, mind you. I'd already put all the cables in for this router, and it's very complicated. I'm quite proud of myself. Anyway, he checked everything out. Suddenly he jumped up, went over to the corner of the room. There's the little socket in the corner with the two little things in, you know, for your broadband and your landline. Pulled them out, put them in again, and the light came on. You know, the light that comes on has got on the router. I couldn't believe it. I said, "You just performed a miracle." He said, "No, I've just..." So he explained what he'd done, and I thought, I couldn't believe it. I mean, one day I've got absolutely nothing, and there's this gorgeous man, he was really sweet, that put it right. And I thought, and I felt also, it may sound strange, but I felt a very deep sort of sensation inside me. And I thought, I've been connected as well. Because many years ago, I really thought that something had happened to my nervous system, and my computer phone said, "It's like you've been disconnected." And for 3 years I've really struggled. You don't know how much I've struggled for 3 years. I've been doing these for 3 years, and a girl on the internet said the other day, a tarot reader, you've had to go through a 3-year initiation. And it has been 3 years. 3 years ago my life was taken. I just know it was taken. I've missed autumns and Christmases. I've been housebound. I've been in a prisoner, really, in a prison, and it's been a nightmare. So I felt something happened. It's like this. Perhaps he was an angel in disguise. We don't know, do we? He was just delightful, and he was fun, you know. And he how did you know what to do? He said, "I used to do it years ago. There's this little thing, can't handle two lines at the same time or something, the broadband and the landline." So anyway, that was sorted. I thought there's something, it was, you know, you get these feelings, don't you? Sort of deep feeling of something. I thought, I'm sure I've been connected. It was symbolic, you see. Everything's symbolic. So that was that. And then the dental saga, I won't go into today, I haven't got time, but that's another video. She's managed to, I've got to pay for what they call a root canal. Be about 300 quid. Anyway, that's another story, but I had to go to his appointment, and it was last Friday, and I feel so, I can't describe how I feel. I've got no energy at all. I had vertigo at the same time, and I thought, how am I going to get to the dentist? Well, this chap, I employ a driver, he takes me, but I've got to walk from the car to the dentist. I've got this walking thing. I expect you've seen them, like little old lady things, I call them, and I feel so, I'm really mad about it. I feel, well, yeah, it's not humiliated. So I just feel like I am an old lady. Well, I am an old lady. Well, I don't want to look like one, pushing this bloody thing around. I'm falling into people. I've got no balance anymore. It's so peculiar. Anyway, this coming Friday, I had this appointment, and I rang up to cancel it. She said, don't cancel it because the dentist you're seeing will be away for about 6 weeks, and this does need seeing to. So I went to the dentist with this vertigo. I don't know. Freezing cold wind. I'm going to just check the time. Freezing cold wind, and this man was slightly, well, he was an old man. I mean, I'm an old woman, but there's old and old, isn't there? He really shouldn't have been driving, actually, and he was very argumentative. He arrived late, and I thought, oh Lord, it's going to be a difficult day, and he was arguing with me. Oh dear. And we got to this between the town called Louth and where I live is a dual carriageway, and you have to be very careful at this dual because things go very quickly. As you know, you have to pull across it to the other side. And as he pulled across, I could see this car coming up on the left hand side, a black car, at great speed, and he hadn't seen it. I know he hadn't seen it. He didn't look left. He was pulling across the dual carriageway. His car was, well, I can still feel it now. It was almost upon us. I mean, there was an inch to spare probably, and it was almost here, and he was here, and I yelled. I said, no, no, and his wheel was turned just in time for his car to go past. I still feel it now. I mean, that was definitely a life or death situation, and I really think maybe I shouldn't have been here. And he argued that he was doing the right thing. He wasn't doing the right thing. He didn't look, he didn't see it. He's an old man. I mean, as you get older, you do have to be more careful. But he was arguing with me, and I thought, you're in the wrong. He said you had to pull across. I said, no, you don't. You've got to wait. No traffic. So there we were. And we got to a dentist, and I got this wheelie thing. And I got to a dentist, and then she did the job. And as they came out, I said, oh God, I haven't got his number. You have to ring them to let them know you're finished so they can come and get you. I hadn't got his number. What was I going to do? I didn't know where he was. I didn't know where he parked. I didn't know anything. I thought, well, I've got to just go out into the open air and see if I can see him. And I was freezing cold and full of pain, and I got my little wheelie thing, and I'd gone out there. It was a bit bleak. Just a sort of a bit of wasteland, you know, just standing there wondering what to do, and people said, you all right? They knew I wasn't all right. You all right? They all have ideas of what I should do, and eventually I said, no, I'll be all right. I'll just stand here for a bit. Maybe he'll turn up. And then eventually I could see his car. It was parked under some trees quite away from me, and I went over, and I stood there for quite a while before he came out of the car. I said, did you see me? He said, no. And then this is how it went the whole day. We got back to town. I said, could you drop me off at the bank? Because I can't get into the internet. Like, the internet's all right now, but you know what, they block you out every now and then. Like, oh. Anyway, I wanted to go and see somebody and talk about this, you know. So he said, I'll drop you off. Well, he didn't. He said, I can't drop you outside, but he could have done. He was just being difficult. And so he parked around the corner and left me standing there, as I just said, with these sticks. And freezing cold, the wind was so strong it was trying to blow me over. And a very nice young man, there's always a nice young man comes to my aid. He said, come on, he said, put your arm in. He said, I'll take you across. And he took me into the bank, and I just flopped onto the seat, you know. And so I got through it, and he came, the chap came to pick me up. But I just... the whole day, the whole 2 or 3 weeks really. But I think night before last was the actual drama. Something was happening at a very powerful level. I expect you felt it. There's things on the internet about it, you know, and I did feel it. So I have done a lot of thinking. What is this about? 3-year initiation, and my life was taken. I felt as though somebody had disconnected me from my source, so my power source. I'd lost my power. I mean, I've lost my left hand. I can hardly use my left hand. I can't do any writing anymore, and that's the thing I do. That's been stopped. Everything's been stopped. I can't go for a walk. I can't go out for coffee. My car hasn't been out for 3 weeks. I haven't driven it because I can just about get in and out of it, but where can I go? I actually went to a local co-op shopping the other day. It's kind of a small shop, a small supermarket, and this was the most difficult thing I've ever done. I thought I didn't go. That's right. I went to the bank. I went to the library because they've got an internet there. I thought, I know. I go to the library and use their internet. Get to the library, it's closed. So I thought, I know what. I'll go to the local ATM, get some cash out, because you see, you've got to get cash out. You can only do that yourself. No one can do it for you. So I went to the ATM. I got out of the car, got my cash out, and again just had my sticks, and I was standing there. I do a lot of standing around, don't I? Hoping that somebody will rescue me, and they always do. And this old lady was a bit further on with her little gadget. Said, "Do you want me to get you a trolley? You can walk better with the trolley," and you can. If you've got a trolley, you see, you've got that pushing in front of you. It's that you have confidence. You can get. I thought, what's a good idea? I'll have a trolley. She went and got a trolley for me. She's so kind. And I stood inside the co-op shop. I wanted bananas. I love bananas, and they're just inside the door. And of course, you know what I'm like. Once I got in there, that was it. I was off. Well, not off exactly. I was crawling around with this bloody trolley, and to pick it up. Listen, I spent £100. Well, I couldn't get on the internet. You see, Sainsbury's, so I had to do the. And I got to the checkout. I thought, how am I going to get all this home? And I suddenly realised I had a card in my bag that this particular store do deliveries. So I said to the chap, "Could you unpack it for me and do it?" And I asked for help. This is very hard for me. This is a lesson I'm learning. I have to ask for help. I don't like. I'm very independent, as you know. You have to ask for help. Ask and you receive. People are very, very kind. They really are very kind. And I've learnt a lot. I've learnt so much about this illness for 3 years. I have been very ill for 3 years, really. I don't know how I've done the videos, but they've kept me going, I think, in a way, because it's been something to do, and time to go. So you might think about the lesson here. It feels to me that internet connection connected me up again to my source. And then this car accident thing was almost like it could have been a fatal accident, but because I've been reconnected and done lots of work on myself and done all, like we all are all the time, that I was kind of reprieved. I was given a second chance. So I think that's what it's telling me. All this business the last 3 years, it's been having to do with that and learning so much about illness and stuff, and then having a second chance because I'd already been connected with this nice lovely young man. I'm sure he was somebody in disguise to me. And then I had this near thing. It was so near. And Maraji says that. He said, when you have it's a karmic thing, if you don't work on yourself and, improve what you can, then it's never as bad as it could have been. Thought for the day. Yes, things are never as bad as they could have been. So keep on keeping on, dear ones. Don't give up. Please don't give up. I mean, it doesn't last. You have to sit there in this space of this void of emptiness and loneliness and whatever, and just say, this too will pass. It will. So take care. God bless, and hope to see you again not too long. God bless. Bye bye.